You're watching Satluj TV News. I'm Angus Scott in London. In a shocking revelation, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has confirmed that the Indian government were behind the murder of pro-Khalistan campaigner Hardeep Singh Nijjar on Canadian soil. In a forthright and robust accusation, Trudeau addressed the Canadian Parliament to report that after extensive investigations, intelligence services had confirmed the involvement of Indian agents in the cold-blooded murder of Nijjar outside the Guru Nanak Sikh Gurdwara in Surrey, British Columbia in mid-June.
Over the past number of weeks, Canadian security agencies have been actively pursuing credible allegations of a potential link between agents of the Government of India and the killing of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Canada is a rule of law country. The protection of our citizens and defense of our sovereignty are fundamental. Our top priorities have therefore been, one, that our law enforcement and security agencies ensure the continued safety of all Canadians, and two, that all steps be taken to hold perpetrators of this murder to account.
As we reported a few days ago, Trudeau had discussions with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the G20 meeting in New Delhi that had been described as tense, particularly as only 2 days prior to the G20 summit, Canada had announced a pause in trade discussions between the two countries. As it now transpires, the Canadian Prime Minister travelled to Delhi with the knowledge of Indian involvement in the murder and then confronted Narendra Modi with the accusation during the summit.
Canada has declared its deep concerns to the top intelligence and security officials of the Indian government. Last week at the G20, I brought them personally and directly to Prime Minister Modi in no uncertain terms. Any involvement of a foreign government in the killing of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil is an unacceptable violation of our sovereignty. It is contrary to the fundamental rules by which free, open, and democratic societies conduct themselves.
As a result of events, Canadian Foreign Affairs Minister Mélanie Joly has expelled Pavan Kumar Rai, the senior-most member in Canada of New Delhi's Research and Analysis Wing, the Indian Foreign Intelligence Agency. The Canadian government has also briefed both the White House and the British government about the incident, with the White House saying they are deeply concerned by the findings. The revelation comes as no surprise to Sikh organisations around the world, and particularly those in Canada who claimed Indian government involvement in the killing and demanded the investigation as soon as Nijjar was murdered. It follows the murder and suspicious deaths of several pro-Khalistan campaigners in the UK and Asia in recent months, with similar accusations against the Indian government. Jagmeet Singh, leader of the New Democratic Party in Canada, highlighted the deep fear Sikhs live with in both India and internationally over the undemocratic threats against their community by the Indian government in recent years.
I grew up hearing many stories that if you raise concerns about human rights violations in India, that you might be denied a visa. That if you went back to India, you could suffer violence, torture, and even death. I grew up hearing those stories. But to hear the Prime Minister of Canada corroborate a potential link between a murder of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil by a foreign government is something I could never have imagined.
However, it will shock many ordinary Indian Hindus who have enjoyed the patronage of their majority Hindu government, and who have been persuaded for years by a deeply partisan media of the health of India's democracy under Modi. Now that the claims by the Sikh community have been confirmed, the Indian government will find itself widely ostracised by the global community for the cold-blooded murder of political opponents on foreign soil. More particularly, Narendra Modi's common boast of heading the world's largest democracy suddenly now start to sound a little hollow. You've been watching Satluj TV News, and don't forget to click on that subscribe button to make sure you get to see stories as they're broadcast. And of course, if you have any comments or opinions on any of our news stories, you can comment below. Or why not drop us a direct message at message@satlujtv.com. I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, thanks for watching. For Satluj TV News, I'm Angus Scott in London.